What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and today we have a video on Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. What the heck? Yeah, this game I bought a couple weeks ago, and even though I haven't posted videos about it, because I think admittedly I bought this game for different reasons than a lot of other people, I have been live streaming it a lot, and you guys seem to really enjoy that. But every time I live stream it, I get a lot of questions, lots of comments, because the reason I bought this game, which is different than most people, is that I bought this game to play Battle Pack Draft, and admittedly, there aren't a lot of people actually online in Battle Pack Draft. It's very disappointing. So in today's video, not only did I want to explain what Battle Pack Draft is, but I also want to talk about why it's important, why it's fun. I've mentioned Battle Pack 3 drafting in a lot of my past videos, and I probably will have like a first impressions video about this game in a couple days or in the next couple weeks here. But in today's video, I want to focus entirely on Battle Pack 3 drafting, or not Battle Pack 3 drafting, just Battle Pack drafting in general. Sorry, I got Battle Pack 3 on the mind. But so Battle Pack drafting is something you do have to unlock. It took me about 30 minutes of just playing the story mode to unlock Battle Pack 1, another 30 minutes to unlock Battle Pack 2. Basically, you have this option here where you can go sealed play or draft play, and I think for most players, you're going to want to do draft play. Sealed play it really takes out like half the fun, because half the fun of playing Battle Pack, playing any drafting, is the actual drafting process. When you play sealed play, you don't actually get to do that, so there's some confusion there, and this will cost you 2,000 of whatever the triangles are. I think they're like dual points, whatever. Sorry, I don't know the lingo for the Legacy of the Duelist. So you can see I have all the Battle Packs unlocked here. Some people, when they first get this game, are like, well, it looks like this Battle Pack 3 because the last section is blocked off, but in fact, the last section is Battle Pack 2, War of the Giants Round 2, which adds some additional cards. Just considering how many people are not online playing Battle Pack, I'd say probably don't play War of the Giants Round 2. I think most people are on 1 or 2, not the Round 2, which is kind of confusing, I know. But basically, I'm a huge fan of both Battle Pack 3 and I guess a pretty big fan of Battle Pack 2, and in this game I recommend, I mean, I've played both on stream, but I'd recommend playing Battle Pack 2 instead of Epic Dawn. Epic Dawn has a lot more like swingy type cards, like a lot more banned cards, a lot more really powerful cards, and I think it's just not quite as balanced as Battle Pack 2. But the gist here is that you spend 2,000 of these triangles, so we'll do that right here, and then buy this Battle Pack. And I do want to say that everyone's kind of on an even playing field, because you're not using cards that you have out of your own collection, you're using cards that you've drafted in these packs. So this works a little differently in real life because you have real people, but how this works is that, so you can see here, we're in round 1 and there's 15 cards in this first pack, and out of these 15 cards, we can kind of look here and we can see there's some good cards in here. We got Graceful Charity, we got Econ, Forbidden Lance, even Curse of Anubis is really good. So what I'm going to do, and pay attention to the rest of the cards in this set here. I mean, I don't know if there's like 1 or 2 cards you can look at and say, okay, I'll keep those in mind, because what happens here is when I grab the Graceful Charity, right, clearly the best card in this pack, adds it to my deck, and then we go to the next pack, and this is a different assortment of cards, but hold on a second, there's only 14 cards, and that's because in real Battle Pack Draft, what would happen is that there'd be someone next to you, or however many people next to you, drafting packs alongside you, so they're building a deck at the same time that you are. That's not quite how it works in this game. In this game, you're drafting against CPUs, and to my knowledge, it seems like the CPUs pick random cards. They don't actually go for any strategy because they're not actually building a deck. You can play against AI opponents in Battle Pack Draft and Sealed Play, but those opponents have pre-constructed Battle Pack decks. It's kind of interesting, actually. But so what happens here is the CPU every single round just randomly picks a card from those 15 or however many are left, and then you're given the next pack. And there's 3 packs that you're given in the first round, and then 3 packs in the next 2 rounds, and then that's kind of how it goes. So eventually you end up with 45 card total. So out of this pack, for example, like maybe Beast King Barbaros, really strong card, and now we're on to the last pack that's in round 1. So you can see there's 3 packs in the cycle. This one doesn't have that many good cards. I mean, Kunai with Chain is pretty good, and now when we click that, you can see we're back to the original pack, but now there's only 12 cards because I picked a card and then the CPUs picked 2 more cards for their non-existent deck. So that's basically how it goes here, and then you kind of just click through and you pick some good cards you want. I don't know, I mean, I'm not really talking too much about the strategy here, but I'll try to just quickly go through here and pick some decent cards for us to have. So you kind of go through here and you build your deck, and you can see as you're picking cards, the packs get smaller and smaller. So every time you pick a card, the next time you see that rotation of cards, there's going to be 2 less things in the rotation, which is a pretty big deal. In actual Battle Pack drafting, this matters a lot more because you're playing against real people, and real people tend to pick the best cards. But I've had some situations in this game in particular where like I haven't picked Pot of Greed on the first rotation, and then like 2 more rotations go around and the Pot of Greed is still in there. So clearly the CPUs are just picking random cards. So then it says, okay, you only have 15 cards in your deck, so you can't play with that. So then you open the next round, and now you have 3 more packs that you can choose from, and this is kind of where it gets interesting as you go along here. You can look at your deck and say, okay, maybe I have some strong monster cards, but I'm sort of lacking on spells and traps, or maybe you don't have any spells and traps or something like that, so you need to just grab like a whole bunch of those. And the skill in this game isn't so much picking like the on paper best cards, and especially I wouldn't say just pick the cards that were best in the TCG, because for example, Dandelion in Battle Pack Round 2, I don't think it's like the greatest cards. And there's a lot of cards in these sets. And then you see we go to the next rotation here, got some good cards. Cyber Dragon, really strong. Look at this. So this one has a lot of good cards. Call the Haunted, Beast King Barbaros, 2 Cyber Jars, some really strong cards there. It looks like I don't have a lot of low level monsters, so if I was drafting this seriously, I would pick the Beast King Barbaros. It just seemed like the best thing. And then we go back to the original pack that we had. So we have only 12 cards left now, but you can see that the AIs did not pick Call the Haunted, which was probably like the second strongest choice there. They did not pick Wingstorm either, which is also a very good card. And you just kind of go along here and you build your deck that way. And then once you go through all 45 cards, this is what it's going to look like. And you have a deck here, but the important part here is that you don't actually have to keep all 45 cards in your deck. And most likely you'll have tons of cards, or maybe some cards that you just don't want in there, because when it gets down to like the last picks of each draft round, it gets really rough because you have some cards that maybe aren't so good. In particular, in Battle Pack 2 drafting, the main theme is big tribute monsters, big tribute summon like level 8 monsters. And while that is cool from like a thematic standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, the tribute monsters very often are not the best ones. So if you look at my draft, for example, the only true tribute summon that we sort of were forced to grab was White Knight Dragon, and admittedly this is actually a pretty decent, one of the better level 8 monsters in Battle Pack 2, but I don't think it'll actually make the final cut of the deck list. And what's important here that's different from real life is that in real life, when you draft 45 cards, which is pretty standard, you're only allowed to cut 5 of them. So you end up with a 40 card deck, so you have to really make some pretty tough decisions. In this game though, you only have to have 30 cards in your deck, so you can cut 15 cards. I do feel that this is a weird decision from Konami's standpoint, because they had official Battle Pack draft. That's not how it worked, but it really means that you can do some pretty crazy stuff. And like, for example, in this deck, it might be difficult to draw like one of the Beast King Barbaroses or 2 copies of it in like a 40 card deck, but when you get down to a 30 card deck, you're opening this very, very powerful card, one of the best cards in this format, in your hand pretty consistently. And you can see we have things to synergize with it, because if Beast King Barbaros, you summon it as a 1900 attack monster, if it goes to the graveyard and then we revive it with the Call the Haunted, well, now it's at 3000 attack. So I would highly recommend. I think when I first started playing this, I didn't even know you could go less than 40 cards, because I just didn't even try. But just so you know that when you are playing Battle Pack Draft, either one, no matter which one you're doing, any of the 3, you are allowed in this game to go less than 40 cards. You can go down to 30 cards, and I probably would recommend that. I think I had one deck that was like so powerful that I was only at like 32 cards, because all the cards, that was a crazy draft experience. But in general, yeah, you probably want to go to like a lower deck count. So this is what it looks like before I cut any cards, and then this is what it looks like after I've cut 15 cards. And note that I did actually end up cutting the Cyber Jar, because I didn't have that many level 4 or lower monsters, so it probably would have given my opponent like too much of an advantage. But I just kind of did this kind of quickly, and especially at the end there, I was just like picking cards as fast as possible. But basically what you can see here is that this deck actually ended up like really powerful. So 3 Beast King is really strong. We have Grey Soul, we have Pot of Greed, which you don't always get offered. You have Swords Concealing Light. We have a couple internal combos here. For example, if you Forbidden Chalice a Beast King, it'll go up to 3400 attack, and then at the end of the turn, it'll go down to 3000 attack, not 1900. Really strong there. And we're just looking at a very, very aggressive deck with the double autonomous action unit, the triple Metal Morph, a very aggressive card. And I think that this deck easily could get to like 4 out of 5 wins. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about next. So when you go through here and you say, okay, you're done with your list, which by the way, you can change if you decide a card that's like way worse than you think it is. You can go back in and switch things even between games. And then you have a bunch of options here, and it says that you have 5 duels remaining. So with all these Battle Pack drafts, you get to play 5 duels with the deck. You can't just infinitely play with the same deck, and that's probably for the best, because then someone could like draft just an insane deck with like triple Graceful Charity, triple Pot of Greed. I mean, eventually you're going to get offered those cards that often if you just play enough times, and then you could just like never lose. It'd be impossible. So they make you only play 5 games with it, and then the deck gets reset. But what's really cool about this is that after you play this, you get to keep all of the cards, and that's what's really awesome. But especially what's cool is that while you did have a pretty high buy-in, you had a 2000 triangle buy-in, or DP or whatever they're called, and that is pretty high. That is more than like a bunch of packs of just buying characters, or buying whatever packs are called in story mode or whatever. But while it is more expensive, you are getting a ton of cards, and you're getting like decent cards. Like one of the things that I found after playing a lot of Battle Pack and then going to the story mode is that you get to keep like all these banned cards. And in the story mode, if you're playing with a user created deck, you can use however many banned cards you want. So you get to use all of these things. You can play with Graceful, you can play with Pot of Greed, etc., etc. But what's also really cool is that you actually do get a lot of like points, like money that you can spend on other packs by playing Battle Pack. So it is just like a normal mode where if you win, you get like 1,000 triangles or more than that if you do like really well, and that's really cool. So you make, not only do you make all of your money back on the cards themselves, but you end up like plussing really hard on the actual in-game currency, and you're having fun and playing like a format that you maybe aren't used to playing. And like I said at the beginning, what's really cool about this is that, like, for me, like example, I don't really play this game that often in the story mode, so my story mode deck is like okay for beating the AI opponents that aren't playing like real like competitive strategies. But if I went online to like the multiplayer, especially because I've mostly been playing battle packs, so I don't have like a good archetype deck or anything like that, I would just get destroyed. I haven't bought that many packs. I've mostly just played battle packs, so I would probably just never be able to win. And that's like a really frustrating thing, especially for like a newer player that's maybe buying this game for the first time, haven't played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't just want to go online and just get destroyed by a really long combo deck. So in battle pack, I mean, while I do have some combos, you're not gonna like just watch me like do like a big combo on the first turn for 10 minutes, and that's really cool. It gives everyone a chance to sort of actually win these games. Overall, I think the battle pack is really like an underutilized portion of this game. I was really surprised when I first got this game, and I mean, I was playing on like the first couple days there. I was surprised to see that like almost no one was playing battle pack draft play. Like, I don't even know. It's really hard. Like, we'll see if we can even find someone if you go on here. Let's see if there's even a match. Well, no game was found, and that happens a lot. And even when I'm streaming and stuff, people will come on and try to play me, but they'll be like the only person online. So if anything, if this has encouraged you to play Battle Pack, I'd highly recommend it, especially if I'm streaming. You get a chance to play against me. But I'm a big fan of this, and hopefully you are too after trying it a couple times, because I really do think it's a very underutilized portion of this game that I was very happy to see that I was included. Maybe someday we'll get DLC for Battle Pack 3, and then I'll just play it nonstop, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it, and yeah, I'll have a video in the next couple days, next couple weeks about Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution, my first impressions. I have lots to say, not about Battle Pack, but you'll have to wait and see what I think about this game so far. I'll see you later though. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.